everybody. It's 3 p.m. and it is time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. So nice to see all of you. We're waiting for everybody to come in and join us. I am making a Bearnaise sauce today. Now, I'm going to serve it tonight over New York steaks, which initially this calls for it to be served over a beef tenderloin. But because I'm, hey, Joy Gallo, nice to have you here. I love it when you all start showing up. Everybody starts coming in and finding us here in Nanny Bubby's kitchen. So I am serving it tonight over New York steaks, just to give it a really different flavor for just three of us tonight for dinner. I don't want to do a whole beef tenderloin. Hey, Frank, you're here, of course. Nice to see you. Frank, by the way, is going to be joining us next Wednesday because he was one of our contest winners. And so we're always excited to see what Frank is going to be making for all of us. Hey, Lisa, nice to have you here. Got a wave back to you. Judy Woods is here. Here we come. Here come all the gatherers. Gathering to Nanny Bubby's kitchen. I get so excited when I see everybody. I know everybody, and to Judy Woods, and Jennifer Tuttle, here we all come. I'm loving this. Okay. And I had to laugh yesterday, Judy, that, I don't have the sharpest sense of humor in the first place. But when I'm chopping and grating and looking and doing, and I see a few comments, the joke about That's What Friends Are For song went over my head. So that was cute. Cynthia texted me afterwards or DM'd me afterwards and say, it was a song. Here it is. And she sent me a video of Dionne Warwick singing. I probably should have posted it in Gather for you to see. But anyway, I am making Bearnaise sauce today. And here is the reason why. I am having a baby shower come October. And I know that's a long way away, but there's a few things that I'm making that I've actually never really made for company before, which means sometimes they turn out okay, sometimes they don't, but I want to perfect them in a way that gives it a Nanny Bubby spin. So today I am starting my test kitchen, my perfection, my flavoring. I'm going to taste it. And I will post the recipe, but it's going to give me a couple days because I want to adjust this recipe and get it down to a science before I make it for the baby shower. So if you're ready and I'm ready, let's take it away. So the very first thing that we're going to do is I've already taken shallots and I've already minced them because I think yesterday me mincing shallots really took way too long. So I minced them. There's 3 large shallots in here. And what this recipe calls for is to take the shallots. Here we go. I'm going to heat this up and turn you around. And how many of you have made Bearnaise sauce before? Something tells me that a few of you have probably experimented and made Bearnaise sauce before. So tell me who you are. My guess is Jennifer Tuttle may have. Judy Woods may have. I'm sure Lisa has, just from what I know of everybody. But we shall see. Maybe Frank, maybe not. Frank is more Italian, and Bearnaise, I think, is a little more French. But we are going to take the shallots. Let's turn this on. And we're going to place them in a pan on a medium heat. These 3 minced shallots, they really are beautiful. And I am happy that I minced them prior to you getting here. I'm going to turn this up to a medium heat. And then we're also going to take wine, which is a half of a cup of dry wine. I opened this the other night when I was, Jennifer made it and she said it was a disaster. Well, that's what I'm worried about, which is why I'm experimenting, because on the morning of a baby shower, I can't afford for it to actually be a disaster. So I'm taking a half of a cup. Boy, I know that feeling, Jennifer. I'm taking a half a cup of dry white wine, which I have right here, which I actually used while experimenting with my son's lamb ossobuco for his birthday dinner, which I thought that dish turned out absolutely stunning, but there was not enough flavor in the gravy. So I'm going to be adding a little extra salt and a little extra red pepper flakes just to give it a little bit of heat. And I think that's what it was missing. So I'll be making it one more time before his birthday, and I'll let you know how that turns out. So here's a half a cup of dry white wine. By the way, can you guys all hear me okay? Because if you remember, I stopped using my AirPods because there was a really bad crackling sound, but they've been working fine. And I actually feel better when I have them in my head because noise in the house is drowned out with these headsets. That's number one. And number two, if I do forget something and I've got to run in the pantry or run outside to the refrigerator out there, or move away from the camera, if I keep talking, at least you can hear me. But without the AirPods, you can't. So give me a 1 in the chat if the sound to all of you sounds, oh, good. Thank you, Joy. Joy's on it today. First one here. Very much telling me how the sound is. So, okay, the rest of you give me either a thumbs up or a 1 so I know you're here. There you go. Let's see. You made it before and you think Bearnaise sauce is one of the 5 mother sauces. Okay, there we go, Judy. Jennifer, everybody says you can hear me fine. Awesome, guys. Okay, and now I have to ask Frank because I know you guys are all doing it, or maybe one of you should type it. Hey, Frank, what is a mother sauce? Because I don't know what that is, what that even means. And Teresa is here, who's on vacation somewhere on an island. Where are you, Teresa? Okay, all right. So we're also putting in a quarter of a cup of white wine vinegar. So let's do this. Quarter of a cup of white wine vinegar, if I can find what I did with the measuring cup. I know it's right here in front of me. Here it is. Okay. That is not the measuring cup. Where does anybody see it? I do this to my husband all the time. Where is the measuring cup? I know it has to be here because I just used it. All right, here we go. Oh my God. Does this happen to you guys? I hope it does. So embarrassing. Okay, you have something in your hand 1 second and then it's gone. All right, there we go. I mean, listen, this is really Nanny Bubby's kitchen. I don't have anybody here handing me stuff and assisting me. I am cameraman, cook, and bottle washer here. Okay, a quarter of a cup of white wine vinegar, and then we're going to take Frank, we're waiting for you to tell us, you might be driving, but what is mother sauce? And now what we're going to do is shallots and 4 tablespoons of the tarragon leaves. So I have about 4 tablespoons right here. Yes, it happens to be me too. Okay, there we go. You don't know either, right? Okay, so I'm going to mince these tarragon leaves, and what we're going to do with these, careful those fingers, I always say, is we are going to put them in this sauce, and in doing so, we're going to let this cook down to 1 tablespoon of liquid, which seems like so small, but it's going to thicken, I am told, and it is going to be great. So let's see what happens. So we'll take this. There's a few brown leaves in here that I just want to get out, a few stems that made their way in, and that looks like about 4 tablespoons to me. How about you guys? Hey, Tawny Bennett. Nice to see you. I was just thinking about you because I was listening to the Mothers Who Don't Have Time to Read podcast. Tawny was so sweet and gave me a book from the author, the podcast host to that. And I was looking at the book the other day and it made me think of Tawny. So thank you so much for that, Tawny. So, okay. So let me tell you, in this, let me turn you so you can see it. And I really wish I could get you just a little bit closer. Let's see if I can do that because I really want you to see inside the pot here. Let me just, the smell of this tarragon is beyond belief. Can I tell you? It's just incredible. There. How's that? Can you guys see that better? Woo! There we go. Look at how beautiful that is. See, it really is good. So the key to this is to let it boil down. We'll turn the fire off when we get about 1 tablespoon of liquid. And the wine and the vinegar are all going to burn off. And boy, I can smell in the fumes of this, I can smell and inhale sort of the vinegar is in the steam, as is the wine. So this is cooking down really nicely. So I do not grow my own tarragon. I planted it, so I was never able to get it to grow. And I'm going to keep trying till I figure it out, but this is the tarragon that I bought in the grocery store in the herbs section. And so I just kind of wanted, it's by Kenter Canyon Farms, and it is organic, and I absolutely love their herbs when I don't grow them myself. So they are my first herb of choice. So, okay, Frank says the 5 mother sauces are the basics of all classical sauces. And what are they, Frank? Hey, Mark Goldberg is here. Teresa again. And Jennifer says tarragon is her favorite. Well, what I love about it is that it's got this amazing anise smell to it, very licoricey, but so much fresher than actual fennel. And it's got like a lighter freshness to it than actually fennel does itself. And I really do. I love it as well. And if I could grow it, I would be even happier. So the 5 mother sauces are the basics of all classical sauces. So I'm guessing marinara sauce, Bearnaise sauce. Let's hear what they are, Frank. I'm not sure what they are. Okay. Okay, so this is, I'm just waiting for this to cook down so that we don't lose sight of it. And what I'm going to do while this is cooking down is I'm going to separate 3 eggs. 3 eggs that should be at room temperature. So I have tried a million ways from Sunday, Bordelaise, possibly, I don't know, that's a question, to find ways to separate eggs. And I'll tell you, the best thing that works for me is honestly, is to just do it with my hands. I find that the best egg separator is actually my hands. So let's put this over the shoulder so I can wipe my hands as I go. Let me see if you can see this. There we go. Let's hope it works. Down we go. And we're going to go ahead and there goes the egg whites, and I'm just going to let that go through and pull off whatever whites I can. And look at that perfect yellow, perfect yolk, and in not a bit of the whites attached. Okay, I'm going to turn this off now. Okay, now let's see. It's hollandaise, tomato, bechamel, um, uh, espagnole, and veloute. Well, that's a little too Italian for me, because I recognize everything but the last 2, but that's great. Hey, Verica. Yes, I hope the food processor is behaving, and I tested it earlier, actually, when I minced the shallots. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. But it was mostly the greater portion that was not working. So there we go, pulling out whatever yellow is there. Thank you for that. Okay, there we go. So just a reminder that Frank is going to be on the show. He was one of our winners. There we go, perfect yellow. Was one of our winners of the barbecue contest, and he is going to be on the show next week, next Wednesday. And Frank, have you decided what you're going to be cooking for us? Let us know what that is. Yep, that is the best way to separate, Judy says, and I agree. Okay, here we go. So now you can save your whites. Oops, that one almost cracked up. You can save your whites for making egg white omelets if you wish. But I had this dirty bowl of whatever shallots were in it, and that was what I had available, so I'm not going to be saving these egg whites. Hey, Debbie Howell. Wow, nice to see you. You have been away. So, okay, let me get my hands washed and cleaned up. And I do want to show you guys that what we have left is about a tablespoon of liquid in the pan here. So let me just show you that really quickly. And we're going to turn it off right at this point. There we go. I'll move it over so that you can see. And in there is, a lot of the shallots and tarragon, but as far as liquid goes, well, maybe there's just a few tablespoons. So I'll turn it back on and we'll give it a chance to continue to reduce. There we go. Okay, turning it back up. All right, so from the 3, now remember that they were supposed to be room temperature eggs. And as usual, I forgot to take them out in time for the show. So again, what I did is I took very hot tap water and the very cold eggs, put them in this little dish Let them sit in here. The hot water brings the eggs down to room temperature, and the cold eggs bring the water up to room temperature, and you have room temperature eggs in just a few minutes. So that is my trick for room temperature eggs. Okay, so what we put in here are 3 large egg yolks at room temperature, 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. So we're going to squeeze the lemon juice, but we cannot afford in our beautiful Bearnaise sauce, we cannot afford for it to literally cause us to have any seeds in this So, whoop, okay, I'm going to take the blade out for just a minute. I'm going to take the strainer and just put it right on there. And Frank said chicken alla paisano. So you guys can read Frank and read it to yourself and answer Frank. And I am going to go ahead and I am going to squeeze these lemons. So here we go. I use this for the seeds. Can you see that? Because we do not want any seeds in our fabulous Bearnaise sauce. So I use these strainers when I just have a small something that I'm doing. I will use this as an example. If I were squeezing into something like this, I would use the smaller strainer. I have these specifically so that when you squeeze through to the citrus, you catch all the seeds and it works out beautifully. So here we go. These are really great lemons. It's about 2 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And, basically this almost starts out like a hollandaise sauce. It's just adding the tarragon reduction to it that makes it really fantastic. So there we go. And it can't be actually, if it's one of the 5 mothers, then obviously, and hollandaise is one of the mothers, then they are different in some ways, but I think the process is very similar, which makes it really nice and easy. So here we go. So that's about a tablespoon, and this recipe is calling for 3 tablespoons. So we'll put in one more nice fresh lemon, which is awesome. And Teresa Anderson says, Frank, that sounds good. So thank you, Teresa, for answering. I wish that Megan were still here. She could read me Frank's response there. So that's really awesome. Okay, this is a much bigger lemon, so I feel like I'm going to get almost 2 tablespoons out of this. So here we go. There we go. Oh, I wish I should stand close so that you can hear it with the AirPods, but you can literally hear the lemon juice just pouring out of this lemon into the food processor bowl. It's such a beautiful sound. It is just such a beautiful sound. Okay, and here comes the last one. And as you can see, which I'll show you, tons of lemons got caught in this. Lemon seeds, but none of them made it into the bowl. The seeds are very bitter. So in a delicate sauce like this, you do not want the seeds to add any bitterness to it. So there you go. So let me tell you, Nanny Bubby, the business page, or my Nanny Bubby page where I do my lives every day, are about 48 people or 44 people away from going up to 2,000. So I invite you to invite all of your friends to like this Nanny Bubby page. And so there's different ways that you can do that. Everybody's Facebook somehow is just a little bit different. But I am told that when you get over 2,000, which, I wanted to do organically, no tricks. I really wanted all of you to come and like the page and invite your friends to like the page organically on your own. I didn't want to do anything to cause it to happen because I really only want real people that are really here. But it would make a big difference to your notifications from the page. I'm told that the algorithms of pages that are over 2,000, actually those notifications come much more frequently. And there's other assets that come with being over 2,000. And so if you would do not, I mean, you can invite them to gather, which would be lovely, but because we have over 410 people in gather, which I am just so overwhelmed and happy. But if you could invite people to like this particular page where you are watching me, which is the Nanny Bubby page, and if I can get 44 more people to actually thumbs up on the page, then oh my gosh, let's see what happens. Maybe nothing, but I'm told that it will be something. It'll be better for all of you because so many times you don't get these notifications even though you've asked for them. And that really bothers me that, you're waiting for a notification and you don't get it. But I'm really told that the consistency of Facebook in terms of that is better if you're over 2,000. So if we can all group together and get us over 2,000, hopefully that will clear up for all of you. So invite your friends to like the Nanny Bubby page. Yeah, I think, well, that's a good idea. Just go to the top of Facebook where you're watching me on a desktop and there's a way to do it. And if you guys actually want me to show you how to do it, I will get my husband's phone and I'll show you how to do it tomorrow. So give me a thumbs up on that. We'll get you to 2,000. I had a few friends join last week. Thank you so much, Judy. Okay, continuing to cook. It will happen. I'm patient. It doesn't matter. I only want real people that you love that continue to bring this fun and loving environment. So I'm not in any hurry, but I just feel like it will be better for you. Very good. Yes, I saw Janet joined. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, ready? 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard all over my thumb first. There we go. I have to tell you a funny story. When last year in March, in February, when everybody was hoarding toilet paper, it made me crazy. And I know we all look around and go, like, why did everybody do that? What was the point of all of that? And I refused to hoard anything. I was like, whatever happens, happens, we'll survive, but I am not going to hoard anything. And about the end of March, I came home from the grocery store and I had bought Dijon mustard and I went to go put it away. And I came out and I said, Tom, you need to come here a minute. And he said, what? And I said, I think I've been hoarding something and didn't even know it. He said, what? I said, Dijon mustard. I guess every time I went to the grocery store, I thought I needed Dijon mustard, and I'd forgotten that I'd bought it the week before, whenever. And so I go, I gotta remember to get that Dijon mustard. And finally, one day I got home and put the Dijon mustard into the pantry and went, how many Dijon mustards do I have? I think I have been unconsciously hoarding Dijon mustard. It was the funniest thing. We laughed about that for a really, really long time. Okay, so that's my COVID lockdown story. All right, the top goes on. Now I want to be really careful about this. I want to go back to the directions and be absolutely certain I know what I'm doing. Mustard, 2.5 teaspoons of salt. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? So we're going to do hey, Heather, love talking to you today. 2.5 teaspoons of salt. So there we go. 1, 2.5, and probably 1 teaspoon of pepper. Yep, 1 teaspoon of pepper. Here we go. Stand by. Pepper is coming. Okie doke. There we go with 1 pepper. And okay, so just reading the directions because this is when you actually mess up, and I'm not messing up. And we're gonna put the egg yolks, lemon juice, mustard, salt and pepper in the bowl of food processor, and we are going to process it for 10 seconds. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. With it running, we are going to take, now the recipe that I'm publishing called for a cup of avocado oil and 1/2 cup of olive oil. And I should have been hoarding avocado oil because I realized that I did not have any. So let's get, here's 1 cup. Oh boy. 3/4 of a cup. Yep. Exactly So let's start pouring it in. So I am using only olive oil for this, which will help to emulsify it. I think the avocado oil is a little heavier oil, but I was out and did not even realize it. So let me just turn that off and finish up. There we go. And away we go. So note to self, make sure you measure the olive oil before you actually turn it on to emulsify it. So that is note to self for when, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You should see how beautiful this is. I think I saw Cynthia Berman come on. Hey, Cynthia, thanks for being here. You're not too late. Oh my Lord, this is, let me just show you how thick. Can you see that? It's like a mayonnaise. It's absolutely beautiful. Let me grab this camera. Oh, this is absolutely gorgeous. So there we go. Can you guys see that? Isn't that beautiful? Look how nice and thick that is. It's just, it emulsified just absolutely beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. You guys see it okay? There is the link to the Facebook page. Thank you so much, Verica. That was a really easy way to help people find it. And like, just, hit the like. You guys don't need to be told how to do that. You know how to do it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add the shallot reduction, which is right here, which is great. And there we go. There is that shallot reduction. Oh. And I am going to toss that with a spatula. And then we're going to add just a little bit more of a remaining tablespoon of the tarragon. So let me just dice up some of that. Thank you so much, Verica. And I think I said hi to Cynthia. Okay. So let me slice this up, and I have just an absolutely beautiful, somebody gave me a gravy boat. Somebody gave me two of them, whose name will remain silent for just a moment. Let's see, she's on the call, so let's see if she notices. Okay, she's on the live anyway. So I'm using this actually beautiful Vietri gravy boat. I absolutely love it. I have two of them. And so in just a moment, after I put all of this in, I'm just going to toss it around really gently because I don't want it to unemulsify. And there we go. Just moving it around. That's it. Okay, with the fresh tarragon in it now. And there we go. Okay, if you're ready, we're going to pour it into this is so gorgeous. It's a beautiful, rich color. I can't wait to taste it for all of you. And again, I am making New York steaks tonight, and I'm going to use this Bearnaise sauce to highlight the New Yorks. So let's see here. Okay, ready? Let's see if the person whose gravy boat this is notices and types a 1 in the chat. Well, it isn't hers. She gave it to me. Okay, there we go. You see this? It's beautiful. Okay. Ooh, wow. It makes, so I'll have to put this in 2 gravy boats the night or the morning of the shower. So, shall I test? Stand by. I'm getting a spoon. So you guys can hear me now, right? Because I'm wearing the AirPods, which is great. Okay, are you ready? Oh, and just, I mean, can you see this? Yes. So it does look like it's perfect, Lisa. And it's in a perfect gravy boat dish. Don't you recognize it? Okay, ready? Mm. Well, it's good, but I have to say, and this is the key, I didn't think that there would be much of a difference if I used 1.5 cups of the olive oil as opposed to a neutral oil, which would have been the avocado oil because it's pretty much tasteless, and a half a cup of the olive oil. And I really think that that's where the error is in this because there's a little bit too heavy of a medium tasting olive oil in this. It has a bit of bitterness to it, and I think it's the olive oil. I really do. So I am going to have to try again. Maybe I'll try it again next week. You all can be my witness, and we'll see if we can make it better. I mean, this isn't bad, but I promise you, I think it can be better. I really think it can be better. Mm. It's good, but it's got a little bit of that olive oil bitterness to it, and I'm not happy with it. So that's that. Now I know what to do different. Um, I can taste the tarragon, Judy, but it is being overpowered by that olive oil bitterness. So there just was a cup and a half of oil in this is obviously what you need to thicken it, but it just the olive oil itself is just too much. It's just too heavy. So I need a very neutral oil. Now, of course, the original recipe that I was combining things and looking at them and choosing what I was going to do, it called for canola oil. But as you know, I always say, well, what is a canola? If somebody can tell me where canola grows, and if you've ever eaten one, I'll use it in my cooking, but I don't think you can. And so I refuse to use a canola oil or a safflower oil or something that I get confused about polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, but I know one of those is not good. And canola and most vegetable oils like Wesson oil is the one kind of oil you should be not eating for your heart. And of course, we're all about heart in this house. We have hearts of love and we want to keep them healthy around here. Thank you, Joe, very much. Nice to see you. So I do need to use a neutral oil, and for me, that would be avocado oil. Now, we might find that with avocado oil, it also doesn't thicken, which can be a problem, which is another reason why I need to continue to experiment. And when all else fails, there's a time to feast and a time to fast. And so, what I'm going to have to do is find a good substitute for that neutral oil that most recipes are calling for. So, if any of you have any suggestions for me, what would be a good neutral oil? I'm just kind of curious to see what you might say. What, instead of a cup and a half of the olive oil and maybe avocado, I mean, maybe avocado oil is going to be the absolute right thing for this dish. And then I'll sprinkle a little bit on top, as you can see, a little bit of that tarragon. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Any suggestions real quickly before I say goodbye and go grill those New York steaks? There we go. How's that look? Wouldn't that look pretty? Look at that. They'll look pretty on the baby shower buffet. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Anybody? Anybody have suggestions? I'm hanging out here waiting for everybody. Have I lost everybody? um, there's organic canola oil, but what is a canola, Teresa? What is that? Organic canola oil. It's a hybrid. It's a GMO, I think, of some other something. So it's an organic GMO, which doesn't make me feel any better. So if you've ever served a canola, raise your hand, and if you haven't, we've got to define what that is and find a great substitute. So anyway, that's it for today. I wouldn't say this is a disaster because it just turned out beautiful. I would say that I didn't have avocado oil like I thought. I should have been hoarding avocado oil, and I haven't been, like I was Dijon mustard one day. But anyway, this is how things work in the kitchen. Sometimes you have 1,000% winner, and I'll tell you when you have 1,000% winner, and you all know this. When you practice and rehearsed and made things so many times that when it comes the day of whatever it is you're making it for, that you are so secure in what you're doing that it just rolls right off the kitchen counter and onto the table. And that is 100% winner. In any case, Joy, thank you so much for your graciousness. That was very sweet of you. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me here every day. I am here for you. I love every minute of it. I'm so excited. And I want to tell you what's coming up next week. On Wednesday, Frank is going to be here. He is, of course, one of the winners of the Summer Barbecue Tournament. The following week, Lindsay Bearnaise will be here. She also was one of the winners. She is also one of my Cooking Confidence Coach students. And so we're going to do a little Cooking Confidence Coaching class for all of you to observe and see what you think. Then on Wednesday is Frank of next week. Lindsay is the week after. Um, Thursday is my daughter Harmony. My daughter Harmony, I have to say this because I'm a Jewish mother. My daughter Judge, Harmony Letitia, is going to be here, and she has come up with an amazing sushi dish, not Susie dish, but sushi dish. And it was so great the way that she, put it all together and things that she said. I said, you have got to come be on the show with me, and you have to do this for the gatherers. I think they'd really appreciate it and love it. Besides any excuse to cook with my daughter, I would love. And then on next Friday, I have an unconfirmed date. We're waiting for absolute confirmation, but it's looking pretty good. Flo Vinger is going to be here. Our favorite vodka maker is going to be here to drive us crazy and make some drinks with us and for us. So that's what's coming up next week. Tuesday's menu has not been designed, nor has Monday, but I'll get to that for sure. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Just me here, me and Biggie. Biggie's over in the bed. I fed him before you got here, so I wouldn't bark and beg. And that's it. He's also feeling so much better. We were really worried a week ago that it was his time, but it's not. He's got 9 lives. He sprung back to life for us. So anyway, yep, Cynthia loves Flo, and thank you to Cynthia Berman for introducing me to Flo Binger. So that's it today. I have a hard time saying goodbye. My husband says, this is so funny. If you know my husband, he's hilarious. My husband says to me when we walk into a party, he'll say to me, start saying goodbye now so we can get out of here on time. I mean, we are going to be there for like two hours, 3 hours. And when we walk in, he says, remember, start saying goodbye now so we can get out the door, because I have this very long Jewish goodbye, he calls it. So what can I tell you? It's just who I am. So I'm having one of those moments today. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Love you all. See you tomorrow.